Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I'm so glad you made it here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the long-awaited launch of the Clove and Hallow liquid skin tint foundation. But first, before we get into the review, I just wanted to tell you that if you are brand new here, then consider subscribing. We usually chat here about 3 times a week, chatting about green beauty, zero waste, and how to really truly live a consciously driven life. So if that sounds good to you, then consider subscribing. And now, without further ado, let's just dive right into the wear test, what you need to know about this foundation. Does it really live up to the hype or not? And I will show you a quick check-in at the end of the video to show you how this guy held up after a long and really sweaty hot yoga class. So let's dive right in. So as most of you know, you already know this, that Clove and Hallow and I are really tight. I am an absolute fan of the brand. They're doing some amazing things. I feel like when it comes to being a vegan and cruelty-free company, and they sort of watch their ingredient list, and all of those things are really checking the box. And so many people have been long awaiting this foundation. So I thought that I would actually give it the grace and the attention that it needs, so we can, spend a moment to really chat about it, of what you can expect if you do decide to jump in on purchasing this. So here's sort of where we're at right now. Well, with Clove and Hallow, they do have some amazing products already. Coverage is amazing. With this foundation, you can expect about a medium to potentially full buildable coverage. I am in shade 4, and it's almost a completely perfect match for me. And whenever I apply it, it's very creamy. It gives you about a demi-matte finish, which means that skin will still look like skin. It will give you a decent coverage. So in that regard, I feel like we're really ticking all the boxes. Does the performance really hold up to what they're telling you that it will? Absolutely, it totally will. I think that especially when you're just getting started with making some serious switches into more of a cleaner products, and you wanted to have products that are really able to fulfill the same ideas and the same sort of performance that what you would expect from conventional beauty brands, I believe that Clove and Hallow would be one of the companies that would be top notch, and it would be able to be comparable. And I think that I mentioned this even in the eyeshadow palette review as well, that the performance is like almost comparable. And with foundations is definitely comparable to your conventional beauty products. But first, let's talk about price. Let's talk about shade range. Let's talk about coverage and what you can ultimately expect. Okay, price. We all care about price. We all care about price because, let's be honest, the moment that you start investing into any of the green beauty products, it becomes an investment, especially even if you just wear makeup sometimes, then it's even more of a hit because let's be real, green beauty products will last you about a year, 6 months to a year. So you want to make sure that your products go a long way, right? Okay, so how much does this baby cost? I'm keep showing you the shade. I don't know why. It's okay. We're gonna forgive that. I'm totally like looking at the website, which is like the monitor is right behind the camera. Yes, we're cheating, whatever. Okay, it is $26 US if you order it through Clove and Hallow directly. Now, so cost-wise, I don't find them to be like on the highest end. Like obviously, like if you get something like Ilia, you're going to be paying way more. So I think that for price point, I believe this is also 1 liquid ounce. It's 31 grams, 31 milliliters. So usually it's pretty standard with most of the foundations that you get at least 1 liquid ounce of product. Price-wise, you're looking at $26 US if you're ordering it through Clove and Hallow. And I mentioned this previously. If you are ordering it directly through Clove and Hallow, I would actually recommend getting a couple of their extra products just so that, like shipping ends up making sense if you're ordering from Canada. This is very important because this is usually a lot of my beef that kind of comes from whenever I'm reviewing brands that are like almost exclusively available in the States. Here, when you're looking at Clove and Hallow products, if you're going into Truth Beauty, that's local here, or I believe that even Detox Market carries a few of their products, not the full line just yet. So again, like in that regard, it's sort of like I kind of cringe whenever companies like Clove and Hallow come out with new products, because it's always going to be not only you're paying for the exchange, but then you're also paying for the shipping and you have to wait for it. So especially when it comes to foundations, it always kind of becomes a challenge because you can't really like test the products out. So when we're looking at shade range, you're looking at 12 shades, which is not like the largest shade selection, but it's also not the worst. Like I've seen a lot worse from brands. So I think that that would be decent when it comes to shade selection. Here's when things start to go like just a little bit, I hate saying this. Things start to go a little bit south for me. Packaging. And I think that I'm going to be harping on packaging a little bit harsher going forward with my reviews, only because alternatives are available and they're local to Canada, and it sort of becomes hard to justify. We're still using plastic, and I understand why. I believe that it keeps their costs down, but to me, packaging is sort of becoming an issue because the more you consume, the more waste you're creating, the more landfills you're filling. It's just really not moving us in the direction of creating positive change. Does the product work? Yes, absolutely. If you get it, you will love it. It held up legit. I will show you the footage next of how this guy held up with a full day of wear and then going to a really, really sweaty hot yoga class. I did a check-in right after the class, about an hour afterwards. My hair was like still wet, like it was a hot mess. And I can say, and you will see this in the footage momentarily, and I will take you to that, where the makeup held up beautifully. So I think that for performance, if you're looking for a product that will really hold up for the performance, you will love this. The price point is amazing, and the shade selection is decent, where we're not favoring, like you will be able to find your shade. Basically, they are also, ever since they have launched this, because they only launched this I believe at the beginning of June, so it hasn't been very long, they did mention that now, like if you're unsure about your shade or you need help, like online support is absolutely available to you. But then the other thing that they have also mentioned is that now they actually have samples available for you to test and try out. Yes, thank you, Clove and Hallow, for being innovative and for listening to your audience. I so appreciate this. So my only beef would be that I would love to change when it comes to the product launch, but really any product from any of the companies. Clove and Hallow just happens to be the one that we're reviewing right now. Number one, be a little bit more available in Canada. Like, we're neighbors, and honestly, it becomes sort of like an extra layer of challenge when it comes to having green beauty products available here, unless those companies are Canadian, and a lot of them are, which I totally appreciate. Clove and Hallow happens to be from the States, and they're made in the States. So I would love to see them be a little bit more readily available in Canada, in a lot more retailers. I mean, if we could get to the point where they're available in Sephora, you just broke the internet. Thank you. However, the other thing that I would pay more attention to, I can still look past not being readily available in Canada if the packaging was created from sustainable packaging. If we could get to the point where we're actually not creating so much waste with the products that we're consuming, to me, and I think to a lot of you guys out there, I think that that would take things to the next level. Just because, you know, having, like, if I'm looking at Elate, if I'm looking at any of the other companies where they have compacts, and I mean, Clove and Hallow has jumped on having compacts available, and again, if we're moving into that direction, I feel like with this guy, you will like it. If you're really conscious about packaging, I think that you may be shifting to other foundations that have created products with more sustainable packaging. And that's sort of where we're at. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. But I personally love it, love it, love it. I love it so much. I'm wearing it today, and I usually go back and forth between the liquid tint versus the compact foundation. I still like, especially over the summertime, I can't get enough of it, even though I'm not a powdered foundation girl. So, but I mean, Clove and Hallow has been one of the brands that have allowed me to change my mind and to really just explore the green beauty powdered foundation realm. So I appreciate that. And we're back. I'm going to be zooming you guys in a mere moment. And yes, I have my mirror here in front of me because I wanted to do, remember I was telling you that I'm going to be doing a final check-in before I'm ready to completely wash my makeup off for the night. But before I do that, I wanted to sort of give you an update of how the makeup held up and now that I've worn it for the entire day. So let me zoom you in and then you can take a look. Okay, so if you're wondering what's up with my hair at the moment, here, remember I was telling you that I'm going to be going to hot yoga? Well, and I said I can pretty much replay you the clip when I told you that, oh, I'm not going to be sweating at hot yoga. Well, today happened to be one of those days where the entire studio was so hot and humid. It wasn't so much the temperature, it was just really humid. So everybody was sweating. Like if you look at my hair, you can kind of still see, like underneath here is still sort of wet. So there's that. Okay, let's talk about the makeup. Honestly, besides like here around my nose, it has worn down a little bit, and like, what can I tell you? It looks great. Like it worn down a little bit on my forehead. I'm a tiny bit shiny, but I mean, I was also in like a really humid environment. Highlighter and my blush and actually my bronzer is still on. My full makeup is still on. I can still see my eyebrows are still on. I can kind of see like just under my eyes, which I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can see that as well, that my concealer has kind of started to wear out just a little bit, which I mean, by the end of the day, I would kind of expect it. But to be honest, if you were to ask me if I would be okay with going out with this makeup and I would probably just put on a lippy, the answer is yes. It doesn't feel very shiny or anything. It doesn't feel very greasy. It held up, you guys. Like it held up so beautifully. So I would love to see some of your updates on how it held up for you. Don't mind my hair, by the way. Like I said, like once you're like literally, we were drenched in sweat. Like I wish I could have taken a picture right after class, but this is about maybe an hour after our class finished. So yeah, talk about like holding up really, really well. Like everything held up. By the way, like if you're looking for a really good, especially for summertime, if you're looking for like a really nice blush that will actually stay on, today I'm actually wearing a combo between Hydra Tint in the color Georgia from Clove and Hallow, and I mixed that in with one of the colors that I had in that little palette from RMS. And like the colors, like as you can tell, this is full day wear, you guys, and being in a hot yoga class for a full hour, and it was an intense class, so take it as you will. So I would say definitely worth every penny. I think that you're going to be very happy with it, but I promised that I would do a quick check-in with you. So here it is, and hopefully you found it helpful. So that's all I want to share with you guys. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you have, one, tried the product from them, and two, how did it work out for you? Are you loving it? Are you so-so? Could you pass? Like, where are you at? I would love to hear from you guys. I hope that you have found this helpful. I hope that you found this useful. If you did, you already know what to do. I don't even need to tell you. You can give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another video, and you can hit the notification bell, and that way you will get notified every single time that I release a brand new video. And in the meanwhile, just keep seeking, you guys, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.